I've been interviewing artists and agents and creative business owners for the last 2 years, and it's been such an incredible experience to get to know these folks and to learn about some of the lessons that they have found in their careers. That's something I love about talking to so many different people, is because everyone has a different path and they all have such interesting insights into this industry that, I've been so lucky that they have shared with me and with my audience. So I hope you guys have had a chance to be watching some of these interviews. And today I'm going to highlight some of the top lessons that have really resonated with me. Be sure to take the time to watch the interviews, the full interviews later on, but here are some of my favorite lessons. Tammy Bennett talked to me about all kinds of interesting things, but one thing that I really loved taking away from her interview was the idea of creating tiny daily habits. Now, I am the first to admit that I am not the greatest at creating new habits that are long-lasting, but she talks about the idea of breaking things down into something so small, something so little that you make a routine of it and you make a habit of it. And I really love what she has to say about this.
I remember a conversation I had with my roommate in law school, and she was saying, if you want to be a writer, then you write every day, and then you are a writer. And so I thought, if I want to be an artist, then I need to create art every day and become an artist. And so I just set that goal for myself to create a surface pattern design, a repeat pattern every day for a year, because I thought there's no way that I'm not going to improve at my pattern design if I'm doing it every day, if I'm doing it consistently. Right. And so it just became this, like, what's the tiniest piece of being a surface pattern designer that I could do? And it's create a pattern. You could probably go even tinier than that and, just create the elements in the pattern. But for me, it was a repeat pattern. That's the tiniest piece of that bigger goal that I could do every day. And so I did it every day for a year. And then at that same time, I also started a gratitude journal. And I have kept that habit every day without missing for almost 10 years. On November 9th, it will be 10 years. Mm-hmm. And so you not only get the benefit of the catalog of work, right? But for me, it became so much more. It became this whole thing of where I built this trust in myself that if I said I was going to do something, I would do it. It built this confidence, because now I'm like, well, yeah, I'm an artist. I have 400 pieces of art I can show you right now. And so it just became this bigger thing. And I've ended up teaching classes about it. I've kept so many different tiny daily habits over the years. And it's just become a big part of my work, because when we take this big goal, this big project, and bring it down to its tiniest piece and work on that consistently, it's amazing the strides that we can make.
And I think that, I always relate it to brushing your teeth, because I have young children and they hate to brush their teeth, and it's always a fight and it's always a struggle. And obviously now, me being an adult, I just do it automatically. If you get up in the middle of the night, someone wakes you and tells you, come on, we have to go. You're probably, if you have 2 minutes, you're going to brush your teeth first, right? It's a habit. It's something that we're used to doing. So finding those places in your creative career where you can create tiny habits and consistently work at something can be really magical. Chatting with Nikki May and Laura Lee Griffin of the Stardust Society was really wonderful. We vibe on a lot of things, and one thing that we really agree on is the need for artists to conquer fear that might be masquerading as procrastination. So Nikki and Laura offer some various hints about this, and I'll let them talk to you about it. But I just wanted to say that I love the idea that procrastination isn't something that it's not you holding you back. It's not you being lazy. It's you being fearful, which is totally, look, it's a big, scary world out there. So I definitely get it. But with some of their tips, I love the idea of diving into your to-do list.
There's lots of little tips and tricks, but the biggest thing is just acknowledging that, you can plan and procrastinate and come up with excuses forever, but you're never going to get anywhere if you don't just take a little step. So, little things like try to do one thing every day that, that advances your goals or gets you, like if you're having trouble even making anything, even drawing anything, do it for 5 minutes a day. Everybody can squeeze in 5 minutes a day, and
It's building your confidence muscle, really.
Yes.
that's the biggest thing, I think.
Yes.
It's just feeling like when we did our first episode, we were like, oh my gosh, we're doing our first episode. We were nervous. We were like, there was so like, and the very first time, so I do the audio editing, right? The first time I had to audio edit, which took forever. We're not going to go there, but took forever. And I was listening to our voices and cringing. I was just like, I don't think I can hit publish on this, because like, who wants to listen to these voices? It was like icky to me. And, we've just published our 52nd episode, which
Thank you.
and now it's like, it's nothing. Like, you just get used to that because you've flexed that muscle 52 times, right?
Erin McManus of Paper Raven Company had lots of insights about building her business. But one thing that really stood out to me was the idea of zeroing in on what you really love to do. And this can be tricky. This means you might have to try a few different things and it might change over time. But thinking about what parts of the business really appeal to you can be a wonderful way to build your creative business in the direction that you want it to go.
I think the beauty of like where we are today as like an artist community at large is that there are so many options. Like you can run your business however you want. And so I really think it's about like, what do you love? Like, what do you love to do? What are the parts of your business that you really want to do? I still love designing product. And I think if you have the desire and the space, then I think like you should go for it. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. But if you want to say, let's say you want to design product, you want to have that thing in your hands and you want to have an Etsy store, or you want to have a Shopify store. But maybe you live in an apartment, which I lived in for like most of my adult life, and you don't have all that extra space. Like, I think if you wanted to get into product without a huge barrier of entry, you could do like print on demand stuff. What I do is I like to go to different print on demand sites, and there's like Printify, Printed Mint, Guten, a bunch of others, Printful, I think. And you can upload your artwork. You can like sign up for free. You can upload your artwork, and then you can just buy your own samples. So you could see how the product actually is in your hands before you were to sell it. And then
Takesha Andrews had so many insights. I love how she has developed her career. And one of the most important takeaways I got from that conversation was use creative play to fuel your inspiration. So Takesha is like the queen of, creative challenges. And she recommends that if you're feeling creatively blocked, switch your focus and try something new, try something playful. I myself have recently started embroidering some things just for extra fun. And whenever you can try a new medium or try something new, it is always a good way to sort of release that creative energy that might be blocked within you.
I'm like, I want to do some paper mache and, incorporate my style into the paper mache. I want to do printmaking. I do want to maybe go back and do a few acrylic paintings in the style that I'm currently working in and see how it goes, But is that something I necessarily need to put on my portfolio? No, but it is something that I can explore for myself. And I think that going about it that way is good, because I feel like it's creative play. Is not necessarily something for my portfolio, but I think that it helps me creatively to work in different tools, work with different tools to kind of feed my inspiration that could probably go into my other work. Maybe there's something that I do on the canvas or in my sketchbook or through printmaking that I can incorporate into my digital work somehow.
And my final top takeaway was from Isabel Serna of Black Lamb Studio. Isabel had a lot of really great insights in her interview, but one of my favorites was the idea that you need to find connection. I'm always talking about this myself. This is why I do these interviews, honestly, is because it helps me find connection. It helps me learn from other amazing artists and creatives. You can't do it alone, you know? Take the time to build relationships with peers in the industry, because as much as we want to make those connections with art directors and clients, which are just as important, having colleagues in this business, especially a business where we work from home, is so important. That's another thing that Laura and Nikki talk about a lot in their interview as well, because they're such a great tag team.
So yeah, it is a very lonely job. So having a group of peers that just cheer you on, with whom you can have a conversation, and we ask each other questions. We talk about an upcoming project, how much should we charge. So it's just like a very open support group where we all kind of understand each other because we do the same, and we also help each other kind of come up again with pricing or with terms to use for a project based on everyone's experience. So it's so valuable. Go find your group, definitely.
Find your accountability group. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed some of these top takeaways, but definitely check out the links below in order to see the full interviews, because all of these incredible artists have something valuable to share beyond just what resonated with me. So be sure to check it out, because you never know what's going to resonate with you. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Silver, and I've been a professional surface pattern designer for almost 2 decades. When I left my in-house design job to run my own business, I had a lot of industry experience, but building a strong client base still took way longer than I expected. And part of that was because there's both a lot and not enough information out there about how to do this. You've been down the Google rabbit hole, you know. Fast forward to now, when I sometimes turn down client work because I'm booked solid. It's for that exact reason that I created Start Your Surface Pattern Business. In this course, I help you cut through the overwhelm and give you a super clear path to becoming a paid surface pattern designer. I provide you with the tools you need to focus on your goals, get yourself set up so you make a killer first impression, and then find and pitch the clients that are right for your artwork. And I do it in the most straightforward, simple way possible. Nothing extra, just distraction-free lessons and to-do lists, plus insights from an industry insider that will help you get the confidence you need to move forward. The most exciting thing is hearing from my students about landing their first client or licensing contract as they start taking the proactive approach that I am such a fan of. You don't need to spend years building a portfolio of hundreds of patterns and illustrations, and you don't need to get stuck comparing yourself to artists on Instagram. What you need is to take concrete steps forward to build the career that you want. And Start Your Surface Pattern Business is all about taking imperfect action. If you've got a portfolio of designs that you've been building and you're ready to level up, enroll to get started today. Thanks so much for watching my video. Be sure to subscribe and share with your surface pattern design friends.